Hello, my name is Nelly Baker, and I chose A Friend Like Simon by Kate Gaynor, illustrated by Katrina Sweeney. It says, "Hi, my name is Matthew, and I would like to tell you a story about a friend of mine. His name is Simon. Simon joined my class last year, and I remember his first day very well indeed. When I arrived at the door of my classroom, Simon was standing outside with his mom. 'Hi, I'm Matthew,' I said. Simon's mom gave me a big smile. 'It's nice to meet you, Matthew,' she said. Simon, would like to say hello. Simon, would you like to say hello to Matthew?' she said, but Simon just turned away and looked at the ground. Our teacher told us that Simon would be joining our class that year. He would take a part in the most of our lessons, but sometimes he would get to help with his schoolwork by a special teacher too. I thought Simon would like our school a lot. It really is a great school, apart from just one thing, a girl called Hetty, or Horrible Hetty, as I like to call her. Hetty was always pushing her way to the front of the queue at lunch. 'I'm next,' she said when it was someone else's turn, and then she would make a horrible mean face. Every day after we ate our lunch, my friend and I would go to the schoolyard and make up new fun games to play. On Simon's first day, I asked him if he wanted to join in, but Simon seemed to like being on his own. As time went by, I noticed how Simon acted a little differently from the other boys and girls in my class. Sometimes he would get upset about something small, like someone bumping into him by accident. No one could understand why or even what he was upset about. Simon always liked to arrange the books and pencils on his desk in the same way every day. He didn't like it very much when anything changed at all. Sometimes he would get upset about the things like the school bell ringing or having to move seats. Because Simon was a little different from my other friends, I soon stopped asking him to take part in games, and sometimes I got annoyed if a teacher tried to get him to join in. I just wasn't sure if I wanted to have a friend like Simon. When the time came for the big school trip to the fun fair, all the boys and girls had to pair up and find someone to sit with on the bus. "Why don't you and Simon pair together today?" asked the teacher. So Simon and I sat together on the way to the fun fair. Simon took out his sandwiches. "Do you like sandwiches?" I asked him. "Do you like sandwiches?" he repeated, and then he handed me his lunchbox to share them with me. "Thanks, Simon," I said, but Simon was busy looking out the window. Later that day, while Simon and I were waiting in the queue for our ice cream, Horrible Hetty marched over to the ice cream van. "I'm next," she said in a mean voice. Just as Horrible Hetty was starting to push her way in front of us to the top of the queue, Simon suddenly shouted, "No!" very loudly indeed. Hetty got such a fright. Her pigtails flew up in the air. She quickly turned around and ran off. "Thanks, Simon," I said. "Thanks, Simon," he replied, looking up at the lights of the big Ferris wheel. From that day onwards, I always made sure to ask Simon if he wanted to have lunch with me and play a game during break time. Some days he would join in, but other days he just wanted to be on his own, which was okay. Hello, I think a friend like Simon definitely hits on a series of points about helping children understand that it's okay to have friends who are a little different, have a little bit of quirks. It's okay that sometimes kids are triggered by things like noises or people touching them, that we have to learn to accept and make friends and try to work around some of these differences. I think this book very much guides you through the mindset of these kids. Like, you can very much sympathize with them and understand that everything that the child's going through, like meeting a new friend and then seeing how the friend has a teacher that it's just his special teacher, which, you know, it's a little different when you're used to just having one lead teacher. And then later on, you know, finding out that your friend is like easily triggered by like noises or people touching them. So as a child, that might be a little bit interesting to or maybe a little difficult to understand, I can say, because if you just bump someone, normally people don't even mind, you say excuse me, but for, you know, kids with autism, they get triggered. They have things that set them off sometimes. So it's very important for these kids to understand, like, you know, it's okay that sometimes someone might have a big feeling. So I like this book that it guides you through that, and then at the end it reminds you that it's important to make friends with everybody and to understand and accept the differences of others. Thank you.